And just like that, I'm about to head off to work and we get some breaking news. Now, it's not directly about the Detroit Lions, but it affects the Detroit Lions. Breaking news coming from Adam Schefter and the rest of the NFL world. The Chicago Bears general manager lived up to his word and said he was going to get some picks, man, and he got them. Carolina has traded up from pick 9 to pick 1, and this is what the Chicago Bears receive in compensation. The Chicago Bears received the 9th pick in this year's draft, pick 61. A first-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and they gave Justin Fields, a receiver, and DJ Moore to move up 8 spots from 9 to 1. Now, why am I making a video about the Chicago Bears trade and I'm a Detroit Lions channel? Because this makes things a whole lot different. This is not updated yet. The Chicago Bears, they've been mocks for days. Jalen Carter before the incident. Will Anderson Jr. This now changes everything because now the Carolina Panthers they traded up to make sure they got their quarterback. My voice went way high. Minnie Rippleton. They make sure that they got their quarterback. So let's assume that Bryce Young is the guy that's going to go here. Now, this is the thing I love about the NFL draft. The NFL draft is unpredictable. We don't know. We saw the Detroit Lions trade up from 32 to get Jamison Williams. Nobody saw that coming. This is reminiscent of what the San Francisco 49ers did to get Trey Lance. Now, we know that a quarterback is going here. We know that the Houston Texans, I kept telling Davis Mills is not the answer. Not when you have the possibility to get a CJ Stroud, a Bryce Young before this happens, right? So now that means that let's assume Bryce Young goes here. This right here is who we have to worry about. The Arizona Cardinals. There is a possibility that Will Anderson, who I want, Will Anderson Jr. could go here. That would be a nightmare. The Indianapolis Colts are going to take a quarterback. They have none. They have no quarterback. And even if they get one in free agency, they have had the quarterback carousel. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz the year before that. The Seattle Seahawks. See, a lot of y'all believe that because they signed Geno to an extension that they won't draft a quarterback. I haven't ruled that out. Okay? So let's assume we have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. This is who we have to worry about. The Indianapolis Colts will take a quarterback. Who goes? Anthony Richardson. A lot of y'all think he's moved up to top 5. Let's say it's either Richardson or Levis. Then you have the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos could take, this is where it gets kind of tricky. Now, we got a long way to go. We got to watch out for Arizona, and we got to watch out for the Denver Broncos. Now, a lot of you still want Jalen Carter, even after what came out about him a few weeks ago. Now, let's say that Arizona or the Denver Broncos want to take a chance on Jalen Carter. They could. Or we could have some type of situation, maybe the Detroit Lions trade up if they wanted Will Anderson Jr. But now, instead, there's another team that is crossed off the list because I was worried about the Chicago Bears getting him. Chicago going to be a problem in a few years. They're going to be a problem in a few years. So Detroit is, in my opinion, it's going to be Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is all but gone out of Green Bay. It just hasn't become official. It's probably going to become official this week. Maybe in the next 48, 72 hours. We now have increased our chances to get Will Anderson Jr. Because don't forget about Tyree Wilson. A lot of people saying that he's climbed up the charts. So let's say that Arizona takes Tyree. That will leave Seattle. And if Seattle could take a quarterback. They really, really could. So it really depends on, in my honest opinion, what the Arizona Cardinals do and what the Denver Broncos do. There is a possibility that Will Anderson Jr., who I believe now that the Detroit Lions are going to get. I know we hear cornerback. But here's the thing that really caught my attention. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, they love their offensive linemen. They love their offensive line, but they love their defensive linemen. They said you can never have enough defensive linemen. We know that the defense helps the back half of it. So the defensive line will help the secondary. The Detroit Lions were 18th in the league in getting to the quarterback as far as sacking the quarterback. They had less than 40. I want to say 38, 39. There were 17 teams better than the Detroit Lions. Imagine if we up that. We in top 10. If you have a defensive line that's ranked top 5 getting to the quarterback, you can wreak havoc and create some room in your secondary where you can have less than stellar defensive backs. If the Detroit Lions somehow can get their hands on Will Anderson Jr., I know a lot of y'all want Jalen Carter or you want a defensive tackle. I do too. But I am picturing Hutch, Carter. They're not going to know where this stuff is coming from, where the threat. And then you have James Houston as well. So even though this is not about the Detroit Lions, it's about a division rival, this does help us. Now it takes the Chicago Bears off the table, out of the mix. We knew that they were going to probably go defense with that first overall pick. Now that is out of the question. In the top 5, there is a possibility that 3 quarterbacks could go in the top 5. Chicago Bears, Bryce Young. Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud. Indianapolis Colts could be Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. Probably Levis. I'm feeling like it's going to be Levis. What if the Denver Broncos take Anthony Richardson? Anthony Richardson is going to have to sit behind a quarterback. Who else? The perfect place for him to go is here. That means that Will Anderson Jr. is sitting there at 6. That's who I want. I can't even talk. That's who I want. Now, if you want Jalen Carter's sitting there at 6. I think Jalen falls out the top 10. Guilty or not, I think he falls out the top 10. Breaking news, man. Chicago Bears just created an awesome opportunity for all the teams behind them, especially us. If Tyree Wilson, if he goes, what if the Arizona Cardinals, we've been hearing that they like him. What if he goes here? That means that the Seattle Seahawks are the only team we got to worry about. My name is Derek. This is Detroit Lions Syndicate. Chicago Bears, they going to be a problem coming up. But this year, we ain't going to worry about them. They might have just gave us Will Anderson Jr. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. And as always, go Lions. And this day here, I didn't have it queued up, but I'm going to have it queued up now as I'm fumbling, stumbling, and bumbling because I was not prepared to make this video. This will be here before you know it.